Folks, some sellers have it worse than others. I'll get into that and then get into the latest home prices and insights for the Peel and Durham region for week ending May the 8th, 2024. One of my clients recently, a buyer client, sent me a few listings that they wanted to go see. And I'm going through the listings, and my buyer client is very keen on one specific listing. Now, there was one street where there was actually two listings on, but she zeroed in on one, and she's telling me, Santo, I really, really want to see this one. Make sure we can get to see this one. And when I asked, okay, great. And I looked at the photos, they look kind of similar. And here's the reason she really was focused on that one. Because of that listing that was for sale was purchased just 2 years ago. So my client, the buyer, although there's two properties on the same street for sale, the one that was purchased 2 years ago, she's focused on that. And I could tell you, the homes were very similar. There wasn't a major difference in price, similar homes, similar features. But man, that one that was purchased 2 years ago, that's the one she's focused on. Do you know why? Because she smells blood in the water. She believes if that seller that purchased only 2 years ago is selling, they must be in trouble. The other property that was purchased about 8 years ago, similar homes, but she's not looking at it the same way. On the one that was purchased 8 years ago, features, market value, all those things play into it. And they kind of do with the one that was recently purchased. However, my client, whether it's instinct, whether it's just the way, their whole thought process towards it, is that that one that recently purchased must be in financial trouble. Whether they are or not is irrelevant. My client thinks they're in financial trouble, and that's the one that they have more negotiating power with. It may or may not be true, but you as a seller, if you're thinking of selling or if you're on the market now, whether you have a financial problem or not, you should know or expect that that's how buyers are looking at your situation if you recently purchased. The reality is someone who purchased 10 years ago could have refinanced and refinanced and refinanced and be in the same financial problem. But the buyers don't look at it like that. They must, it's lots of equity there, and they're for sale, and market value, that plays into it. But the one that recently purchased could be selling for non-financial reasons. But the buyer they think the seller is desperate, and they feel there's more negotiating power there. You as a seller, you need to understand and know this dynamic. Your real estate agent needs to know this dynamic. So in the same scenario that I explained, where my client sent me those listings, before I went to go show those properties, I'm calling the agents of these listings to find out some more details, just to learn a little bit more about the property. I had a few questions on some of the things I read on the listing. And in that specific one that my client was interested in, when I'm speaking to that agent, the home was listed for about 1.4. In conversation, the agent, through our discussion, and I wasn't pressuring them on price, I was just trying to find information about the home. The agent says, Santo, bring me anything 1,360 or more, and we could put a deal together. It's listed at 1.4. The agent's basically just on the phone. We haven't even seen the property yet. The agent has discounted it $40,000 already. Haven't even seen the property. Haven't even tried to negotiate yet. So the other thing I'm saying is, sellers, you need to know the obstacle the way buyers are looking at your situation. You should hope your agent that's listing your property isn't looking at your situation the same way, first of all. And they should maybe not discount the price so quickly and not give away your money so fast. So be careful that your agent is maybe making your situation worse. Understand what's happening in this market. Buyers, through the history of time, first of all, buyers always want to pay as little as possible. Sellers want to sell for as high as possible. That's just a fundamental part of selling and buying. But today, in this market, in this climate, buyers are looking for angles. And if they think, whether it's true or not, if they think you have a financial problem, and the fact that you bought 1, 2, 3 years ago, and now you're selling, they think you have a financial problem, they're going to try to use it against you, and they're going to think they have more negotiating power. Your agent and you as the seller going into the selling process need to understand that dynamic that's happening now and compensate for it and work against that and overcome those obstacles. Who you hire matters, and understanding the dynamics in this market make a huge difference. If you feel this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you get value in what we're talking about, subscribe. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Up here, there's a link to my calendar. Below this video in the description, there's a link. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. Folks, at the end of this video, we showcase a detached property in Brampton that's a legal 2-unit dwelling. Now, this home's been transformed top to bottom, fully customized. Have a look. Okay, so we're focused on Mississauga, Brampton, Durham, detached properties only for week ending May the 8th. Here's a summary. There is a approximately $300,000 difference between Brampton and Durham average sold price versus Mississauga average sold price. It's often a $400,000 difference. This week, $300,000 difference. We're going to start off with Mississauga. Sales looks like they're trending up. Not aggressively, not by a lot. It did come down for a couple of weeks. Now we're higher. Look, folks, I'm looking at this. You're looking at the same chart. I'm thinking sales are going up, but it could easily be, let's see what happens. I'm okay with that too. Everybody has their own opinion. 59 were sold. 5 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price, a little bit trickier to figure out what's happening. Currently, the average sold price for week ending May the 8th is $1,516,000. If we look back a couple of weeks, we went down. Now we're up a little bit. Before that, with confidence, I was saying average prices are trending up. I'm not sure right now which way prices are going. There seems to be a shift out in the market. It's not as aggressive as it was before. Properties are sitting out there a little bit longer. There's more choices out there. Buyers have come kind of stepped back. This is kind of the feeling that we have right now by being in the field working with buyers and sellers. The numbers sometimes show us that, sometimes they don't. Right now, I'm having a hard time figuring out which way prices are trending right now. But overall, they have been trending up. Compared to last year, 1516, 10% lower than where we were a year ago. The median price is 9% lower. The dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average. They were trending up, both median and average. Now looks like for the last couple of weeks, coming down a bit. Maybe that's the cycle now. Sales. The blue, those are the sales a year ago for the same week period. The orange, that's the current week we're in. Sales. Recently, we have fewer sales than what we were selling last year. The amount of properties selling at list price or more hasn't changed much in the last, well, if we go all the way back, we're kind of a little bit lower than where we were in March, but 39% of the properties sold at list price or more. I would expect to see that number changing, but still 39%. Listings, no question, we are listing far more properties this year than we did a year ago. Active listings is much higher. versus last year, we have 97% more active listings. So active listings have basically doubled. I'm going to go back. We're selling less. There's more properties available for sale, double. Months of inventory sitting at 2.1. It did come down from the previous week. That's just because of how the sales went up a little bit, and it offsets the months of inventory. But 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4 is kind of where we've been over the last month and a half or so. So 2.1 seems kind of normal right now for Mississauga. Here's Brampton. 49 detached properties were sold. 2 of those were at $2 million or more. So let's look at 49. It's not on the low end of 44 and 43 like we had before. It's not on the high end where we were in the low 60s. 49 is kind of normal right now. On the low side of normal, I would say, but still kind of normal for Brampton. Average sold price is sitting at $1,220,000. When I look at this chart up and down, in my mind, I'm looking at this and thinking, average prices really haven't changed that much in Brampton. There was a while before these last, say, 4 or 5 weeks where I would say average prices were coming down, but now they've kind of stabilized. My attitude is that prices have actually, for detached properties over the span of the last month and a half, have been kind of stable for Brampton. Compared to last year, 1220 was 8% lower than where we were this time a year ago. The median price is 10% lower. The dotted line, the 4-week moving average, kind of summarizes what I said earlier. Prices seem, although there's some ups and downs, kind of flat over the last month and a half or so. Sales, no question. We have far fewer sales this year versus last year. Again, remember, this is for detached properties only. Far fewer sales. A third, 33% sold at list price or more. Listings, we have far more listings than we had last year. Active listings has more than doubled. It's doubled and almost half of that. 146% more active listings than what we had a year ago. We're sitting at 733 available detached properties for sale in Brampton. I'm going to go back for a second. 49 were sold, but there's 733 available for sale. Big difference. Months of inventory, sitting at 3.5 months of inventory. Months of inventory, to me, looks like it's climbing. We're sitting pretty much in a balanced market right now when it comes to Brampton detached properties. Durham. Now for Durham, I'm using Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby as my Durham sample. 75 were sold. Sales looks like they're trending up. 75 were sold. 4 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price is $1,216,000. Prices for Durham have been all over the place. Durham is actually one of the most competitive regions of all the GTA, but prices were going up, down, they're all over the place, and they kind of stick to that for 3 or 4 weeks, and then they go the other way. 1,216,000, there's, including the week we're in, there's only 3 times this year so far, average sold price has been more than 1.2 million. 1,216 is still 3% lower than where we were this time a year ago. The median price is 10% lower. If we look at the dotted line and we kind of go month and a half back, kind of looks like average price and median price are trending down. 75 are sold, 65% sold at list price or more. So it's pretty competitive out that way. We have far more listings. We have 127% increase in active listings versus this time a year ago. 351 available for sale. Months of inventory, it's not moving. It's pretty much a seller's market. We're at 1.1 months of inventory. I have 3 months on the board here. 1.1 is the highest it's been. We've had several weeks at 1.1, but we've been at 1 also quite a bit. So pretty much, it's very competitive if you're looking to buy in Pickering, Ajax, or Whitby, a detached property. Here's a quick summary. In some areas, especially in Brampton, you may see a buyer's market type of scenario where prices are coming down and buyers have an abundance of choices and properties are sitting out there longer. In other parts of Mississauga, we're at the kind of the top end of a seller's market, so you'll experience, depending on which neighborhood in Mississauga, either a bit of a seller's market or more of a balanced market. Brampton, pretty much a balanced market. Ajax, Pickering, Whitby, more of a seller's market, more competitive. Thanks for watching. Now check out this awesome home we've got showcasing at the end of this video. Folks, you're about to see the inside of 32 Sturrock Drive, renovated top to bottom. Now, attention to detail and craftsmanship are evident throughout this home. And there's a full legal basement apartment. Have a look. Not too many homes come with their own indoor treehouse. Your kids will love it. This kitchen, what can I say? It is double the size and far superior in quality than any standard kitchen. No expense was spared in this legal 2-bedroom basement apartment.